Hello everyone, welcome to week 2 of NinaRibena's Art Journal Prompts and More 2019. It's time to do our Jank It Up project this week, and seeing as we're starting Use Your Scraps in week 4, I thought this would be a good opportunity to make a journal for me to put all of my scrap pieces in. This is the piece of junk that I am going to be using to make my journal, and this is a cardboard box from a duvet cover set. They're quite often wrapped in these thick corrugated cardboard boxes, and they make perfect journals. So this is what I am going to be using. Let me measure it for those of you who want to know the size. So it's roughly 10 inches by 10 inches. If you don't have something like this, I know this is the kind of thing that we tend to hoard onto, use any piece of cardboard from cardboard packaging. I want to use something quite thick today, just so that it, stands up to all the scraps and things that I am going to put in it. The width of the spine on this one is 2 inches, but also if you want to make a journal, have a think about the size of the journal that you want to use. My advice is don't make anything too big if you're fairly new to this, because you'll just find it too intimidating. If you're going to do a big Bertha style thing, then that might be a little bit intimidating. For those of you that do this kind of thing all the time, then that might be exactly what you want. Now my quote, because of course the prompt is for the month is words, I'm going to put use your scraps on the front, because of course that's what this journal is for, and so to keep with that theme, I'm going to dig out scrap bits and pieces to decorate my journal with. So as soon as I've had a rummage, I'll be right back. Decided I'm going to use some painty baby wipes and kitchen towels and that kind of thing to decorate my journal. I've just got so many of them and they need using up, and just look how gorgeous some of them are. That one's got loads of glimmer on it. Now you will need to take the layers apart, because of course most of these are 2-ply, so just pull it apart and then you've got 2 for 1. So I'm going to tear these up into small pieces and put it onto speed and talk you through what I'm doing. So I'm just tearing these gorgeous pieces of colourfulness up into smaller pieces, not too small because obviously that would just take forever to glue down, but just so that I can have more of a random look. And I'm trying to not incorporate too many colours here. I'm trying to use lime greens, pinks, blues and purples, and a bit of green as well, just so that it's not too busy. By the time I've added the first layer, it does look fairly chaotic, but you'll see as I go through, at the end of it I just end up with something that I absolutely love. Now I'm just auditioning the pieces here, and I would advise you all to do this. Just spread it out on your box or whatever it is you're using, your cover, just to make sure that you're happy with the way that it looks. And then you'll see in a minute that I take a photograph of it. I'm recording this on my iPhone, and then I take a photograph with my iPad, just so that I've got a reference. And I think I do end up changing the layout slightly, and that gives me something to work on so that I can remember where all the pieces go. Then I'm just using Mod Podge to glue everything down, and I'm making sure that I've got an overhang as well, because on this box the edges are very raw. We've got several layers of cardboard all together and it looks quite messy, so I leave myself an overhang so that I can wrap it over the edge, so that when I'm all done and the whole of the box is covered, everything is all nice and neat. And you'll see here that I'm just smoothing the painty baby wipes. In fact, they're not baby wipes, they're kitchen towels and tissues. I'm just smoothing everything down with a credit card, being careful about it as well, because this is delicate and will tear quite easily, but that gets rid of any air bubbles and just makes sure that I've got good adhesion and everything is stuck well, stuck down properly. You'll also notice as well that if I have any pieces where I've got a straight edge, I tear it, so so none of these have got straight edges anymore, and the reason that I've done that is just to get everything to blend together better. Things stick out if you've got a straight edge, so that is just the way I like to do things, although I do go straight over the top of all of this, as you'll see later on in the video. And of course sometimes you'll end up tearing something, as I did there, and I just tear a small amount off another piece and just patch it up. All that gorgeous colour just makes me so happy, and now you can see that I'm flipping my cover over and I'm just gluing those edges down, and I'm making sure that I apply glue as well to the edge of the box, just so that it doesn't come unstuck, and then just pressing it down with my finger as well. Now you'll see in a second when I get to the corner of the box that I fold it as you would if you were wrapping a gift. So wrap that over, and then you'll see here that I fold that edge in, as I say, as if you were wrapping a gift, just so that it's all nice and neat, and I'm not left with any bulk at the corners. Speed up the drying process, I blast this with my heat tool, then I prop it open using the heat tool again for about half an hour before I continue working on the rest of the box. And you'll see in a second that I show you the whole of the covered box with those lovely, nice, neat edges. I love that. Of course, I could have left the cover exactly as it was, but I decide I want to decorate it even further. So I'm using various mandala stencils that I've got in my stash. I'm adding a border using this stencil here, which was a freebie from a magazine. And then I decide to add the mandala to all four corners inside that border as well. And I've picked out colours that will blend with the background. Then I use one of the folk art stencils just to add a focal image, and I'm using, I think it's Sky Blue Light here, which is a Liquitex acrylic, to add that. And then I start adding smaller details as well, just to build up all those beautiful, beautiful layers. And I'm lining these up with the points on the mandala, so that everything is positioned nicely. And here you can see me fiddle around with the placement, lining it up with the point on the mandala, just so that everything just looks cohesive and neat. Definitely worth the fiddling, in my opinion. I decide that I don't want the back of the journal looking the same as the front, and so I use this larger Crafters Workshop stencil, and I start in the middle with the lilac and just add various colours as I go through the whole of this stencil. So lilac, the darker pink, turquoise, and then the light pink on the absolute outside, and then I use some of that darker pink as well to add a border to frame my journal. This of course will add strength to the outside of my journal as well, because of course acrylic paint has got a plastic in it. You'll also see that I've decorated the spine of the journal as well, using the freebie stencil with the borders on it and the smaller mandalas, and this just looks so pretty to me. I'm really happy with the way that this turns out. Now I just feel that I want to tone down the inside of my journal slightly. Now I could have used a wash with white gesso, but I decide to use the leftover plies from napkins that I've used. Napkins are usually 2 or 3 ply, and these are the pieces that are always left over. And of course, because they're translucent, they just tone down everything beautifully and add a really lovely feel as well to that inside cover. And I'm just using regular Mod Podge to glue this down. And the easiest way to get rid of the excess is to use a damp paintbrush, just using regular water, and then it will very easily tear away.
then I just water down some of that leftover paint and add a few splatters just to tie everything together.
And so here's my finished journal. Oh my gosh, I love this. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. Let me just fold it out. So that's what it looks like. That's the back. That's the front, and I'm just going to add a quote: use your scraps. I've just used some Hessian and calico here and used a stamp to stamp on my quote, use your scraps, and I shall glue that down with some Fabri-Tac, and then that's what the inside looks like. So I just continued splattering using 3 colours of the leftover paints, and I'm just going to use elastic to put in my signatures. It was the blue version, turquoise version of this elastic string here that I got from Flying Tiger. I've used it all up now, and I've just tied them and then put a little piece of ribbon just to tidy the knot. So that's how I'm going to attach my signatures for the time being. Whether I sew it in when the journal is finished, I don't know. So I'm just going to glue that on with some Fabri-Tac. There's my finished Junk It Up project for this week, and of course the prompt is words. My words are use your scraps, which of course is fitting for, you know, the purpose of this journal. If you don't want to do a journal this week, then feel free to do any other junk related project. And if you don't want to do a journal for use your scraps, perhaps maybe a shoebox to put your scrap pieces in would you know, be a good alternative for you. So I hope you enjoyed seeing me create my journal this week, and if you did, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, because it does let YouTube know that you like what I'm doing. And do let me know what you think in the comments below, and take care everyone. I look forward to seeing what everybody comes up with for the Junk It Up challenge this week. And if you want to tag me in any social media, don't forget to use the hashtag NinaRibena. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.